Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi
Vijana Balava Givanadhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi
Vijana Balava Givanadhari.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jamuna Tira Banachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jamuna Tira Banachari.
Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi
Vijana Balava Givanadhari.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jamuna Tira Banachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Radha Damodar Giriju Ki Jai Ho. Om Agyanna Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Militamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitamina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Jadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavandanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaur Devashe Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to the lotus feet of my Harinam Diksha Guru, Srila Bhakti, excuse me, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada. Second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, and an entire Guru Parampara, especially to Sachinandan Gaur Hari, who manifested Sri Siksastaka for us. But today also is a very special day. Today is the disappearance day of a very exalted Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Narahari Sarkar, from Sri Kandavasi Narahari Sarkar. Now, he's very special because he was mentioned also even in the how do you call it, the evening Artik song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's mentioned as his service for Mahaprabhu was chamara. He was waving the chamara for Mahaprabhu at the Artik. And in Radha Krishna Leela, he is the Pran Saki of Srimati Radhika, Madhumati Saki. Madhu meaning honey. Madhumati. So there's one pastime with Narahari Sarkar that kind of is very appropriate for his name as a Saki. One time when he was in Sri Khanda, Nityananda himself and Mahaprabhu themselves came to visit him, right? And all of a sudden they asked for honey. We want honey. And that's the way Mahaprabhu and Nitai were. They were very spontaneous, and we want this, we want that. Just like Balaram when he wanted honey, you know, like this. So he wanted honey. So Narahari Sarkar has so much potency, so much spiritual potency. There was a pond right there next to where he lived. And immediately he transformed that pond of water into honey. And to this day it's called Madhu Puskarini. And if we have the spiritual qualification, we can taste it as honey. And also there was a kadamba flower that would grow there by the power of Narahari Sarkar's oldest brother's son, Raghunandan Thakur. Sri Khanda is a very, very special place. Sri Khanda is very close to Katwa, where Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Very close there. It's just a little bit west on the railway station. Prabhupada would always talk about where things were in regards to the railway station. So it's there near Katwa. And it was a village famous for physicians, doctors. And these doctors were very famous because they cured not only your material illness, but your spiritual illness too. And the most famous Vaidya there, they're called Vaidyas, physicians or Vaidyas, was Narahari Sarkar's older brother, Mukunda. Their father was Narayan Das and their mother was like Gui. It's hard to say, Gui, Sri Gui. That was their mother and father of Mukunda, Madhava, and Narahari Sarkar. The oldest being Mukunda. And his son, Mukunda's son, is Raghunandan Thakur, who's also extremely famous. So anyhow, Mukunda, being the head physician, the most famous physician, he was sometimes the physician of the Shah of Bengal. I mean, the high royal king, you know, on the Muslim side. You know, he was a physician for him. And of course, there's a famous story that one time the king, the Shah, was being fanned with a peacock feather. His servant was fanning him with a peacock feather. And because Mukunda is such an exalted devotee, it reminded him of Krishna. And he immediately, his Astasattva bhavs manifested, and he actually fell off the platform, down on the ground. And of course when the king, oh, how are you? Because they were very close, the king, the Shah, and Mukunda. They had a close relationship. So the king was, oh, how are you? What happened? Oh, and Mukunda, he just covering, he said, oh, I just felt sick. A little bit of epilepsy. But actually the king understood that he actually had, because of the, what do you call it, the udipan of the peacock feathers, he had gone into ecstasy. This is Mukunda. So Narahari, he was, even before he met Mahaprabhu, he had written many books, even about Radha and Krishna, and much poetry actually. He was very rasic, even from birth, like this. And his brother, when their father died, Narayan Das, Mukunda sent Narahari, his younger brother, to Navadvip to study. So he became a great scholar, and he wrote these poetries, these books, and like this. But then he became an associate. Of course, he's an eternal associate, but as we know, in the past times, there was times when Rupa Goswami met Mahaprabhu, and so in the past there was this time when Narahari meets Mahaprabhu. And he also became very close with Gadadhar Pandit. They were serving Mahaprabhu together. Gadadhar Pandit was famous for offering pan, and Narahari for fanning, like this. And so there was many pastimes also in Navadvip, before they go to Puri, in Navadvip, one time Narahari was dancing and dancing and dancing, and he would wear ankle bells, nupur, and his ankle bell flew so far, it flew off into another village where his disciple Krishnadas was. That's a famous story. And I think the pond there is called Nupura Kund. It's like this. So many, I'm sure there's unlimited pastimes that we just haven't heard. Like this. These are exceptional, extraordinary personalities, because it's Madhumati Saki, a dear to Saki of Radharani. And then, of course, when Mahaprabhu went to Puri, Narahari stayed in Sri Khanda, but he would go every year with Shivananda Sen. All the devotees from Sri Khanda would go to Puri. They would all go with Shivananda Sen every year for the Rath Yatra. And in the Rath Yatra, you know, Mahaprabhu would make 7 groups of kirtan. So one of the groups was only the Khandavasis. And in that group, it doesn't say who the singer was at this particular point, but it said the dancers were Narahari and his nephew. It's called nephew, right? It's the son of his older brother, Raghunandan. They were the dancers. So they were continuously dancing. You can see that's a continuation from Navadvip, when he was dancing so much in his ankle bell. So he's a famous dancer. But also, it says that when Mahaprabhu had been touring South India, right? And he discovered and brought back with him a copy of the Brahma Samhita and the Krishna Karnamrita for the devotees, 1 copy each. And when he came back, who did he give them to? He gave them to Narahari Sarkar. And he was the one who preached and distributed them to the devotees like this. Because when Mahaprabhu was talking with, especially with the devotees in Sri Khanda, especially to Mukunda, Raghunandan, and Narahari, he told Mukunda, you should still be the family physician for the king. You should take care of the family and do your devotional service. Raghunandan, you should worship the deities. But he told Narahari, you should always stay with the devotees and serve the devotees and preach like this. And particularly at that time, he had him stay in Puri. And the other 2 he sent back to Sri Khanda like this. So everyone has their own individual instructions from Shri Guru. This is the example. We can't think, oh, well, because I'm told to do this, that person has to do it too. No, we have to be very careful with this. Yeah. And also there's another interesting, when Srinivasacharya went to Sri Khanda, it was Narahari who advised him to get married. And he did his marriage ceremony. Because if you know, Srinivasacharya had 2 wives, actually. But he's still a great acharya in our line. Right? So whether we're not married doesn't matter. But it was Narahari Sarkar himself who advised him to marry and did the ceremony like this. Then he passed away on this day, and they have a huge festival there in Sri Khanda for his passing. And Srinivasacharya, for the first disappearance festival, he was there doing all the ceremonies for Narahari Sarkar. So Narahari Sarkar ki jai. We can pray for his mercy. Very intimate associate of Mahaprabhu. So back to Sri Siksastakam. So we can question sometimes, why are we actually studying Sri Siksastakam? Why are we doing this? You know, why? You know, why is this so important? Why is this the only only Astakam that Mahaprabhu himself manifested? It's the only instructions that he himself manifested in a sequence like this. He gave so many instructions, of course, that's written down by Chaitanya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Vrindavan Das Thakur. But these are his specific instructions he gave near the end of his pastimes, specifically Sri Siksastaka. Why is this? Because we hear that the essence for us is Guru Seva, right? Sri Guru. Sri Guru. For us, conditioned souls, Sri Guru is a beginning and end. This is how the mercy has come to us, is through Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas are gurus. And the instructions of Sri Guru are also our life and soul, or should be our life and soul. So what is the instruction from Sri Guru for every single disciple? There may be different personal instructions, like we heard about Narahari Thakur. You worship the deity, you continue to support the family by being a physician and giving instructions. You stay with the devotees and preach. But everyone, Harinam, 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 Eva Kevala. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself gave the example. He had Guru. He had Ishwar Puri, was his Guru. And when he went to Sri Ishwar Puri, he said, what is my duty? Ishwar Puri said, you should study the Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu said, so I can't do that. I'm a fool, I can't do this. And so then Ishwar Puri said, okay, you chant Harinam. Chant Harinam. And he, Harinam, Harinam, Eva Kevala, he quoted that verse to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, this is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, said, and when I took this Harinam, he's describing this to Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur in Varanasi. Yeah. He described to him what happened to him when he took Harinam. He said, I was taking Harinam. And all of a sudden, all these ecstatic, and I saw this young boy like this. So he's revealing the potency and the power of Srinam. It's the essential teachings of Mahaprabhu. Harinam. Harinam, as we've been hearing in the first text is a nutshell verse, gives the summary of all the excellences, all the benefits of Harinam, all the hidden secrets of Harinam is there. The stages of bhakti, Shraddha, Nishtha, Ruchi, are all hidden in Harinam, like this. And in the first sloka, it's all a nutshell. And then each verse takes a specific part. Teto Darpana Martam, Nishtha, like this. And it takes us all the way to the goal, Prem. Prem. And by this Harinam, Mahaprabhu is expressing that we will achieve everything. We don't have to do anything separate, actually, to achieve Prem. And we don't have to do anything separate to actually understand who we really are, to attain our Siddha Deha. Harinam, if done under the guidance of Satguru and Sri Vaishnavas, everything will come in due course of time. We simply have to be patient and tolerant, which is the third verse of Siksastaka. Siksastaka gives every single stage that is needed in 8 verses. And it's all summarized in the first verse and finalized in the last verse, the final goal. Incredible, 8 verses. So if we study this Sri Siksastaka, and actually we recite it every day, this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, every day our bhakti will increase. It will increase and increase. Just by even just reciting Sri Siksastaka. I can't say it very well. Sri Siksastaka. Yeah. So if we can, we should try and recite it every day. Learn these verses. There's some things that are very important, actually. I know for myself, this is one, I don't learn so many slokas, it's not so easy for me. Some people do, but I have learned these. And I remember when I first came to Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON Los Angeles for Mangalartik, and I think they still do there, we were singing Samsara Davan, because it was important in those days that we focus on Prabhupada, like this. We just focused on Prabhupada, and then we sang Hare Krishna, like this. And I actually learned the Samsara prayers. That was really hard. Those are not, when you're coming out of just being a hippie, you know, a forest monkey, you know, to learn Samsara Davan, that is really, those that's not easy. But we learned that, you know, and everything's in there. This is Sri Guru. And then Sri Guru, what does he say? Harinam. So then you have Siksastaka. Of course, in there we always said Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Life is actually very simple. So many other things, if one has that qualification, and Sri Guru indicates that, to learn the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they're friends. These astakams, these verses of Bhagavad Gita, they are our friends. This is association. In time of need, they come to our assistance, isn't it? In time of need, when everything's going wrong, you remember, oh, whoa. Trinadapi sunichena tarodapi suhistina manina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Or you remember Tateno Kampam Sushamikshimano, Lord Brahma's prayer. You remember Harinam, Harinam. Like this morning, I had a very unusual day yesterday and an unusual night last night. And when I woke up this morning, it was an unusual morning to wake up to. I mean, unusual consciousness, And all of a sudden, I just realized, okay, just chant. Just chant. And so I just started chanting, went up on the roof in the sun and just started chanting. And all of a sudden, everything just calmed down. Everything started to make sense. Everything fell into place. It was like, it's true. Harinam. Harinam is our best friend. Because Harinam is Sri Guru. Because who is Sri Guru? For us, because we're aspiring for Radha and Krishna in Braja Vrindavan. Our Sri Guru is a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, like this. So, Harinam, Radha, Krishna. So all of their, wherever they are, their associates are there. Wherever they are, their Dham is there. And I'm so fortunate also, I'm in Drishyaman Vrindavan, so that helps. Jamuna's right here. All of a sudden, okay, all this madness that was going on in here, it was just like, oh, Jamuna Devi just takes, her sweet breezes just take away all that anxiety, and all the emotions from sometimes having to face your false ego and how you really blew it doing this and that and saying this and that, and oh dear, Haribo. And so you just chant and you think, well, I'm a spirit soul. Yes, in fact, I'm aspiring Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava. Oh yes, I'm an aspiring maidservant of Radha and Krishna, the holy Radha and Krishna. And actually, okay, what are they doing now? Okay. Oh, because it was like about 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, she's in Javid, he's in Nandagram. Because this is all hidden in the holy name. The Astakaliya Leela too is there. Now we can't artificially think, oh, I'm there, I'm doing this. But I could certainly think, oh, wow, when will I be with Srimati Radhika there in Java, helping her awaken. Her grandmother's just come and has just come, Mukhara's just come and discovered this yellow cloth of Krishna. Oh dear, this is a big problem, And, you can start thinking, because we've heard this Hari Katha. This is not something that's just some imagination. It's Hari Katha that we've heard from Sri Guru. Either in actual Hari Katha from their spoken Hari Katha or from their written Hari Katha. It's there. So this is okay. But we think, oh, when will I get qualified? Oh, Harinam, Harinam, please make me qualified to be able to serve in these pastimes, to assist my Guru in these pastimes. Oh, yes, this is the goal. Prem Seva. My Guru's doing Prem Seva to Radha and Krishna. When will I be qualified to be able to assist him, her, in the pastimes, the Mahaprabhu to Radha and Krishna? And then you forget about all this. It's like, okay, I'm a conditioned soul. My conditioning's really not so wonderful. But it's going by the mercy of Harinam, given by Sri Guru. The potency is there. This potency, we're hearing this here. Now we've done Chaito, Darpana, Marjana. Chaito, Darpana, the mirror of the heart is being cleansed, and so we're starting to see who are we. Prabhupada made it clear we're a spirit soul. That's actually understanding our Siddha Deha, not specifically, but we're a spirit soul. We are a spirit soul, and Prabhupada always said we're an associate of Radha and Krishna. He would say that. He didn't say who we were. He didn't be so specific about being a Manjari or something, but he always said, our goal is Braja Vrindavan, back home, back to Godhead. This is our home. Like that. So then, Bhava Mahadevagni, what happens? you know, the fire of material existence? Because of Harinam. Harinam Sankirtan is cleansing the heart, and then is just, what do you call it, extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. Then what happens? This is all explained in the first verse. Good fortune comes, right? That's here. This is the stage of Subhada and Kleshagni. This is the first two leaves that come in the process, in the steps of bhakti, right? Through Harinam, from Sri Guru. Sri Guru is giving, but it's through Harinam. This is the process, Harinam. Because if we're Sri Guru and we're not chanting, Hare Krishna. This is the Hare Krishna movement. Kali Yuga, the process is Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. You know, like this. So we're chanting, and all auspiciousness starts to begin. At that point, for each individual, it depends on how offensive we've been. If we haven't really been offensive, at that point, prem can come, actually. But if we've been offensive, then gradually, the auspiciousness will awaken in our heart, like this. And we'll go through the process, some more fast than others, because they were less offensive. They were maybe chanting longer. Then we come up to Nishta, Ruchi, like this, through Harinam, like this. So this is a Shreya Karava Chandrika Vataranam. This is like the moon. The moon is showering its moonbeams on the white lotus, the night blooming lotus. Some say the blue lotus. No, it's a white lotus. Anyhow, it's a night blooming lotus, and it blooms at nighttime when the moon is bathing it in its soothing rays. So the example is this Harinam, Sri Krishna Sankirtan is like that moon, showering its moonbeams on our soul, on our spirit soul, that's now becoming uncovered. The fire is going out, and so the white lotus of good fortune. Shreya means the highest benefit. Shreya. Shreya Karava Chandrika Vataranam. So this good fortune begins, the highest fortune begins to blossom. Now for some it may even at that point full bloom. But for others, just a little bit is coming, little bit, because we've been pretty offensive in our past lives. So some is coming, some good fortune. And what is that good fortune? That good fortune is actually the whole process of bhakti. And for us, Braj Bhakti is being given. The moon of bhakti coming from the heart of our Sri Guru, who's a Brajvasi. The bhavs in his heart start to shower on us. This is bhav. Now we don't at that point usually reach the level of bhav. But some may at that point. But for us, now at least, we finally are good fortune of sadhu sangha. And we're awakened enough and we're empowered enough to start doing bhajana kriya. Bhajan under the guidance of sadhu. This is in his moonbeams. His bhavs are coming and giving us strength and enlightening us and enlivening us like this. Because he's transcendental, so anything he's giving is completely pure, 100% saturated with prem, not just bhav, prem. And so we're receiving this through his harikatha and through his mercy when we follow his instructions. Harinam, Harinam. And we hear his harikatha and we repeat it and we remember it. Because kirtan isn't just the Mahamantra, it's also the harikatha, like this. So that's Shreya Karava Chandrikavatam. Vijavadu Jivanam. Harinam, Sri Krishna Sankirtan is the life of transcendental knowledge. But it's very beautiful how it's said here. There's a secret here. Because Vijavadu, Vadu means bride or consort. So it's like the life of transcendental knowledge who is compared to a bride. So who's that? It's our transcendental knowledge that's that awakened by these moonbeams, right? And the life of that is Harinam. But actually the real hidden meaning here, which is revealed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and our acharyas, is that Vidya is a name for Srimati Radhika. In the 1,000 names of Srimati Radhika, one of them is Vidya. And pure knowledge is bhakti. Bhakti is really, we hear that in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Rai Ramananda. What is real knowledge? What is educate? It's bhakti. Bhakti. Right? And the essence of bhakti, Ladini Shakti there, bhav, prem, like this. What's the essence? Mahabhav. Who is the embodiment of Mahabhav? Srimati Radhika. So her life, and she is what? She's a badhu. She's a housewife. She's a bride. She's married. Parakiya Bhav. You know? Of course, she's also the consort of Krishna, but in Parakiya Bhav. So, but her life, isn't it? That Krishna Nam. Krishna Nam is her life. There's a beautiful pastime that Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj told. I think I've told it before, but it's worth telling again. He always told the stories over and over again. They're so beautiful. One time Srimati Radhika was feeling so much separation from Krishna. He had gone of something, and she was chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And she was so deeply meeting with Krishna within, all of her entire being. Her sakis were trying to, they couldn't. She was totally absorbed in Krishna Nam. Even Krishna himself came. And she didn't recognize him. She didn't experience him, you mean, like this. And he said, how is this? She knows my fragrance. She knows my voice. But she was so absorbed. And he says, oh, I want to understand the sweetness that's in my name and within me. And that's one reason why he came as Mahaprabhu. Like this, to taste that nectar she was tasting in his Nam. Like this. So Sri Nam, Radha and Krishna. It's her life and soul. Vijavadu Jivanam. It's also our life and soul, because ultimately she's Prem Guru. She's our Swamini, or will be. We're aspiring to become her dasis, like this, you know. And she and Krishna, Jugal, have come as Mahaprabhu. And his life and soul is Harinam. That's what he was doing when he was going South India. How's that go? What's the one? Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I don't know how to sing it very well. Yeah, Krishna, Krishna. Yeah, right. Yeah, he was singing this as he's going along, just completely absorbed, or else Hare Krishna. In the jungle in Jharkhand, just Hare Krishna, and all the animals, all the tigers and the snake, everybody was dancing and embracing each other. Unbelievable. Harinam. Harinam. He would look at someone and immediately they would start chanting. And when he would go, when he came the other way, when he came back to Navadvip, and crowds, thousands, millions of people would come to get his darshan. He would stand out in the balcony, you know, and he would just say Harinam, ask them to chant, and they would all start chanting Harinam. And that was everything was Harinam. So when we finally stop and understand what gift we've been given by who? By Krishna, by Srimati Radhika, who have come as Satchidananda and Gaur Hari themselves to give this gift to the most fallen jiva souls. This is their desire, their compassion, to give this Harinam to us. Harinam coming straight from Braja Vrindavan. And it's so potent. So, Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam. So then what comes? This is what we're talking about. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. Ananda, but not material happiness. The Ananda. And who is the embodiment of Ananda? Srimati Radhika. Satchit Ananda. Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radhika. She is the one, it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who gives happiness to Krishna and to the devotees. All happiness is coming from her. Everything. So Ananda, all this spiritual happiness comes, and it's vardhanam, it's ever increasing, and being nourished by Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. And the more we chant, following the instructions of Sri Guru, at least trying to follow the instructions of Sri Guru. And what are those? There isn't so much. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Goes to a cultured person, you don't have to say that. But most of us, we're not cultured. And we had to understand you have to follow the 4 regulative principles. And we know what those are. And Prabhupada taught in the very beginning, refrain from the 10 offenses. The 10 offenses to the holy name. That pretty much encompasses everything, isn't it? Don't criticize. Don't think there's any other supreme controller than Krishna. Even Shiva, he's a subordinate controller. And Krishna and his name are non-different. Don't think the Guru's a mundane person. Like this, don't treat him like that. Don't blaspheme the scriptures. Don't think the holy name is imagination or is exaggeration. Don't do sinful acts on the strength of the holy name. Don't think, oh yes, I can, this is the thing, because we're coming from the material world. Well, I've got a holy name, and but I just can't help it, I just can't help it. You go out and do something you shouldn't do, right? Oh, well, I'll just chant. And that will nullify that. Krishna will forgive me. Or I'll go do atonement in church once a week. Like this, no. And don't think it's equal to, karma kanda. Yeah, and don't preach the glories of the holy name to those that aren't qualified. Now,
Who don't have faith.
Yeah, who don't have faith, that's the word. But that doesn't mean that we can't go out and do Harinam Sankirtan and try and ask persons to chant Hare Krishna, but we don't say we don't say, well, Harinam is Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. It's their amorous pastime. No, we don't do this. We don't preach the glories of the holy name like this. We can say, oh, you will benefit so much by chanting Hare Krishna. And if they are theists, you can say, these are names for God. You can say that. But we don't, the actual glories of the holy name, we don't. And then we don't, this is the hardest one actually, the first and the last one, to maintain material attachments. This is very difficult. So for the rest of our life, until we actually attain much higher levels, we don't really need other instructions. You've got Guru, you've got Samsara Darpan. Everything's in Samsara Darpan, only Loka. This Astakam. You've got Siksastaka. You've got Sachinandan Gaurhari, right? Like this. You've got the 10 offenses we stay away from. And when we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And of course, one of the essential points is very, very important. We honor Mahaprasadam. We do not eat like a dog or a cat. We never eat anymore. And we don't eat Mahaprasadam. If we're eating food. You cannot eat Mahaprasadam. We're serving Mahaprasadam. We're honoring Mahaprasadam. And just enough to keep body and soul together. Prabhupada, that was one of his first instructions. Please only take Mahaprasadam, and please observe Ekadasi. Today is Ekadasi here in Vrindavan. Very important, very important. Because many persons here, they do not follow Ekadasi. There's so many different reasons why they don't follow Ekadasi. But for us, this is one of the main teachings also of Mahaprabhu. Please follow Ekadasi. He even asked his mother to follow Ekadasi. So we should be very, very serious. That doesn't mean for us, because we're very fallen, that you have to do Nirjala Ekadasi. Now, some people say you have to do Nirjala Ekadasi. That is an instruction that was given in time past when persons were more qualified. It's there in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. But Prabhupada didn't ask us to do that. Even Srila Narahari Maharaj didn't ask us. He said, if you can do it, very good. But you have to do whatever is beneficial so you can do more devotional service, so you can remember Krishna, so you can chant more. And if you're doing Nirjala Ekadasi and you're just sleeping because you're so tired and you just can't even function because you're so weak, then what is the point? The point is to increase our bhakti, not how much we eat or don't eat, or honor sadhana and don't, or even how many parikramas we go on, or this. The point is bhakti. We want our bhakti, the quality of our bhakti to increase. So we pray, Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani Ekadasi Devi Ki Jai. And we try and, do kirtan and chant more. Even Prabhupada, when I joined in 1972, because our instructions, of course, were chant 16 rounds a day. But on Ekadasi, by the time I joined, he said you were supposed to chant 25 rounds. And that was, that was quite amazing for us, 25 rounds. And we did a half a day fast. And then we had an Ekadasi feast at around noontime. That was what we did. So he even had special rules for Ekadasi, like this. So we should be careful. So we can still do our seva though, whatever it is, and try and increase chanting. And also, so here we are, Nandam Buddhi Vardhanam. So, yeah, Pratipadam Purnamritas Vardhanam. So, there comes nectar at every step. Because one might think, this is brought up by a question may come, well, we're tiny, insignificant living entities, jivas, right? We're so insignificant. So even when we get to this point, probably our ananda will be very small and insignificant. Because we're so small. But no, Pratipadam Purnamritas Vardhanam, meaning that nectar at every step is increasing and increasing and increasing. Why? Because that's mercy. Yes, we're small and insignificant, but by the mercy of Sri Guru, who is, his mercy is unlimited, his capacity, he's non different than Krishna in one sense, like this. He's Satchit Ananda. They're unlimited embodiments of Ananda and mercy. So they can bestow this qualification upon the tiny jiva soul. Now, we're always dependent. We're dependent on them. They're holding us up. They're giving us the strength. They're giving us the capacity. But the capacity they give, that's the Achintya Shakti, Karuna Shakti. We read in the Madhurya Kadambini, in the last chapter about Prem, that when the jiva finally meets Krishna, has darshan of Krishna directly for the first time, he's by the Achintya Shakti potency, Kripa, he's able to experience unlimitedly first the sweet form of Krishna, the sound of Krishna's voice in his flute, his fragrance, all unlimited, and then finally he's able to relish altogether all the Madhuryas of Krishna by the mercy of Krishna's Achintya Shakti, like this. By the mercy also of his associates, like this. So no, it's not that we're going to have very limited bliss. No. It's going to be unlimited, unlimited, unlimited bliss, like this. And then Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That means we're cleansed. We're purified inside and out by Harinam. And Sarvatma Snapanam means supremely, unconditionally, everything. No desire for liberation. No desire for selfish desires, sense gratification. Everything, externally and internally, because at that point one attains one's spiritual siddhadeha. Everything. It's hard to express it because sometimes it's explained that your material body is just, forgotten and left. Other times it's explained it's transformed and everything is spiritualized. So it's a mystery. Our siddhadeha and attainment of siddhadeha is a mystery. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually talks about it in his commentary in 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, when the gopis who are not allowed to go to the rasa dance are held back. It's a huge, long commentary. And he brings up different points. And when he says, just see, Dhruva Maharaj went back, going back to God in his self-same body. Other times says somebody left his body there and he went like this. So it's a process of transformation. Because even the gopis who were not allowed to go to the rasa dance, they had spiritual bodies, but there was still some little inauspiciousness there. And that's why they weren't allowed to go. They had children, they had still little, they were attached to the affection, like some affection there. And so when they couldn't go and they feel so much separation, and Krishna actually came and he was embracing them in their heart. Everything was annihilated. All the everything, all their disqualification to be able to go to Ras was totally eliminated. But as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, they didn't die. There wasn't then a body there. That would be so inauspicious for the Rasa Leela. They hear these dead gopis around. No, it just disappears. It disappears. And they apparently seem like the same gopi. But no, whatever was the obstacle to holding them back was gone. And then either that night later or the next night, Yoga Maya allowed them to go. So also for us, actually we're a pure spirit soul. We never were this material body. This material body is simply a covering. So how the process is working of chanting Harinam, Harinam, and we rise from, sadhu sangha, bhajan, anartha nivritti, the guru is just cleansing away all the obstacles. Lust, anger, greed. How can Krishna be in a heart full of lust, anger, and greed, and anger, all these things? No, not possible. So he's cleaning. So then ruchi, nishta, firm faith, we talked about this. Ruchi, ashakti, bhav is coming by chanting, 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 serving, like this. By the mercy of Sri Guru. Then we, bhav, and the siddha manifests like this. But still there's some material body is still there. We still got it's called a sadak deha. It's a body that we can do sadhana in. Without a body, we can't do sadhana. And we really shouldn't be able to have a body, because when you chant Hare Krishna, all of our sinful activities go away. So how is it that and that's what this body is made of, a material body. But Krishna gives special mercy. He gives special karma, Krishna karma, so that we have a body that we can do sadhana in. So that sadik body, somewhere in the transformation from bhav to prem, somewhere in there, going from bhav, because our spiritual body starts to manifest in the heart, we have spurti, and then by this, still chanting Hare Krishna, then this material just dissolves or is transformed, however you want to say, and the spiritual body is fully manifest. Everything material is forgotten. Everything. All our past, all that's all forgotten. And we're situated completely in our spiritual body. Our consciousness, our ego. You see, before it's just simply the ego that I'm the material body. I'm not really, but that's the ego. That's who I am. Ahanta and mamata. I am the body, everything belongs to mine. Now the ahanta is I am a spirit soul. But not just that, I'm the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And at the point, as it's praying, as it's manifesting, we're chanting and chanting, at that point, in bhav, transforming to prem, it's Swarup Siddhi at first, this is bhav, then what's called the Ekadas bhavs come. Automatically. It's not that one has to go out to Radhakund and pay, I don't know how much you pay, and you can find out what your Ekadas bhavs are, and you can start chanting and you can do all that. No, it comes naturally from Sri Guru, gives you what? Your spiritual name, your mother and father are known, where you live known, what your dress is, what your service is. All these, it's called Ekadas bhavs. They're in the Jaiva Dharma. They're also in Bhajan Rahasya. The Ekadas bhavs are fully manifest. because we're sadhan siddhas. We're not, you know, the eternally liberated souls. This is just automatic for them. Oh, it's eternal. Let's put it that way. They never had to practice. So as we're chanting and chanting, naturally, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur talks about this. Everything is in the holy name. Everything will come when we are qualified and at the appropriate time. We don't have to try and think, I need some other process, I need some other guru, I need this, I need that. No, we simply have to have tolerance, patience, like this, and go on. And then what happens? Krishna comes, we heard in Madhurya, and he personally leads us, or Srimati Radhika, or Bhakti Vinod Thakur says in his songs, Rupa Manjari and Nanga Manjari will come and take us by our hand and take us into Leela, into Braj. That's Vastu City, like this. And we enter into Barshana, Java, like this. We get trained by the Nityasiddha gopis. And then they take us by the hand and take us to Aprakat Leela. We leave, you know, this Prakat Leela. And then at that point, when we're perfected, we're always learning more. It's all increasing, 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 never finished. Because Nitya Leela is ever fresh. It's Nava Nava, ever fresh, ever fresh. So we're always Anugacha, always. But at that point, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Jana Sharma asked Gopkumar, well, when you actually reached Aprakat Leela and you met Gopal, what happened when he left? And what, you know, and he said, no, somehow the Brajabasis, they only want Vrindavan. Even they don't want to go to Mathura. Anyway, if Krishna goes, they're with Nandaraj. You know, Nanda Baba and Nanda Gokul. You know, this is their home. Nandagram, you know, like this is their place. And they don't really see any difference between Aprakat and Prakat. No difference for them. They don't see a difference. When we're eternally, see, when we're still in our process of purification, our process of transformation, we will see a difference between Prakat, and we won't have made it to Aprakat yet. But once there, just like when Krishna or Srimati Radhika, they're always there, and they also come to the material world in Prakat Leela. It's not a different Radha and Krishna. Like this, it's the same Radha and Krishna. Like this. See, so also. But things will be perceived different. They're just perceived different. I'm only describing what I've read because I haven't experienced it, because I'm still down here in Anartha Nivritti. But this is what I've heard from the Guru Varg. And it all comes by chanting Hari name, the holy name. Even in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, what was Gopkumar's strength and power for going on his journey back home, back to Godhead? His Gopal mantra. It doesn't talk about the holy name, Harinam, like that, but he was chanting his Gopal mantra, and same his disciple Jana Sharma. They were chanting mantra. And for us, it's so simple. We are given mantra also. If we take Diksha, then we're given Gopal mantra, Kam Gayatri, etc. But those are for here in sadhan. When we come up to Prem, the mantras are not there. Harinam is the beginning, middle, and end. Harinam never ends. The name of Radha and Krishna. It says in the Ukalika Valari that when Krishna, this is Rupa Goswami, when he hears the two syllables Radha, no matter what he's doing, where he is, whoever he's with, doesn't matter, even Chandravali, he immediately forgets everything. Immediately and just desires to run to Srimati Radhika. And when Radha hears Krishna, the two syllables Krishna, what happens? She becomes completely stunned in bhav. All the asasatvika bhavs manifest like this. This is the holy name. In Braja Vrindavan, in Aprakat Leela, and it's descending. It's descending down, down, through Prakat Leela, through Drishaman Vrindavan here, and down into the whole material creation. This is Harinam. This is why we study Siksastaka and why we pray. Now we're praying, okay, we've got the nutshell, we've got the the seed is there with everything in it, Shraddha, and hopefully we're going to get it's a sadhu sangha, and we're going to do some bhajan, and we're going to go by the power of holy name, attain nishta, attain ruchi, like this. Siksastaka ki jai. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevala. Kalu anasteva, 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 gatir anyata. There is no other way. There is no other way. And Prabhupada was so amazing. I forget who he was talking to. Maybe it was Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami. I can't remember who. And they asked him about what he was going to do in the West. And he said, well, I'll even feed them meat if I have to, as long as they'll chant the holy name. And I know by the mercy of the holy name, they will give up everything. Of course, he didn't have to do that, but he had so much faith in the holy name, and that's what he took with him to the West. He also took Harikatha of Srimad Bhagavatam, like that, but it was the holy name, the order of his guru. Guru and Nam were the real driving force for Srila Prabhupada. Jai Haribo. Panchakapatusta Kripa Sindhu Vivita Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana
Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana.
Jaya Radha Raman Jaya Radha Raman Radha Raman Jaya Radha Raman
Jaya Radha Raman Jaya Radha Raman Radha Raman Jaya Radha Raman.
Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada
Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol.